breaking news. The Eagles signed Quinyon Mitchell to his rookie deal. He is signed. He is under contract. And he has looked good so far in OTAs, and we'll be talking about him in this video. Of course, this comes out as I'm getting ready to upload. So, Quinyon Mitchell signs a first-round contract. All the Eagles draft picks are now signed, now under contract, and in about a month, it is time to go to work. Now, let's start this video. Final day of mandatory minicamp just wrapped up, and clearly the defense won the day and the week. Now, some people are trying to run with the false narrative that somehow Jalen Hurts is struggling and is going to have a bad year. I'm telling you right now, Jalen Hurts is fine. Not even that. I'll take it one step further. Jalen Hurts will throw at least 30 touchdown passes this year. Book it. Dallas still stinks. Yo, by the way, kick Dingbat here. Did you see what happened at the Cowboys camp today? Did you see it? It was amazing. CeeDee Lamb went up. He went up in the air like 20 feet, did a twirly-whirly, did two twirly-whirlies, caught the ball with one finger. One finger, came down, got 2 feet in a hand. It was the most amazing catch I've ever seen. Psych! It never happened because he ain't at camp. Now, Devontae Smith, A.J. Brown, they're at camp, and the Eagles finished their final day of mandatory minicamp. There is a ton to talk about. Seriously, we may not have football until training camp because that's it. But my gosh, man, so much came out of this camp. And we're going to get into all of it. We definitely are. But before we continue, I want to I got to say this. The Eagles need white uniforms. They need white uniforms. They need to come out with the white helmets, man. Minnesota. I mean, I got to give it to the Minnesota Vikings for they're calling it the Ice Vikings, right? Have arrived early. And they showed them. These are their white helmets. And let me tell you, this looks really, really good. Now, shout out to my man Daz. He pointed out he thinks that the horns should be colored in. I like it, man. I really, really like it. And I want the Eagles to do something like this with the white helmets. But I don't just want it to be an alternate or a special. I want it to be every time the Eagles are on the road, the white helmets come out, whether they have Kelly Green in the wing or not. I mean, somebody's got to come out with a really good-looking white Eagles helmet. We have seen a lot of different models and stuff like that, but something really good. And I would have them wear it on the road. Those would be my road jerseys. That's how I would do it. And then I would have my Kelly Green at home, and then I would have my black. It would be black and Kelly Green as my alternate. But shout out to the Vikings, man, because this looks fantastic, yo. It looks fantastic. And I'll tell you what, if I was the owner, it would have been done already. And you know what? Maybe I just will be the owner. Maybe I'm just going to go buy the Eagles. That's right. I'm going to buy the Eagles. I'm just going to start selling chickens to the people in the state of Texas. Start selling the chickens because they're always out of them. You know they use them to sacrifice chickens for that stupid 1-star rating Dallas Cowboys with that satanic star. Just start selling them chickens, and I should have enough money to cover being a owner of the Eagles. Zach Berman, and I'm not kidding, the Eagles are actually trying to sell part of the team. Zach Berman said this: Jeffrey Lurie is exploring a sale of minority stake of Eagles. According to a report by Bloomberg, the report indicates there would not be a path to a controlling stake. Now, that may be true until Philly 500 does the hostile takeover. and then I get the full steak, and I change the jerseys right away. Right away, it's going to get changed. Now, listen, I don't know why he's doing it. What's it about? Why do you want to do that? Maybe he wants cash. I don't know. I mean, I have a lot of conspiracy theories, but I probably would get in big trouble if I said them here. So I'll just have to maybe put them on somewhere like Rumble or something. But a lot of interesting reasons why he could possibly be wanting to do this. Okay, so I don't know, but in all seriousness, it is what it is, and I just want them to change the jerseys. I just want a refresh, man. I want a refresh of jerseys. I swear, Now, as I said, the Eagles, they had their third and final day of mandatory minicamp. And in this day, I think it lasted to practice around 50 minutes. Something very not surprising, very crucial to a lot of how Jalen Hurts has been judged over the last few days. Hurts informed us that 95% of the offense is new that he has to learn. Okay? Tim McManus wrote this. Jalen Hurts says about 95% of the offense being installed is new. Use words like, quote, structured and organized to better describe what he likes about the offense under Kellen Moore. So here's your starting franchise quarterback that has to learn a brand new offense. 95% of it is new. And I think it's a fair assumption to say, yeah, maybe he would be a little bit rusty. Maybe he would struggle here or there. Maybe things would be a little off at times. I mean, he's learning a new offense. 95% of it is new. It takes time. And we're hearing so much about how bad he's been. And Kenny Pickett and, Tanner McKee, they have looked great, but Jalen Hurts hasn't. I think it's so blown out of proportion. I will say this, okay? I think that in OTAs, with no helmets, with no pads on, shorts, you have to keep everything in context. When we talk about, and maybe I need to do like a disclaimer at the beginning of videos. We are talking about OTAs, or we're talking about training camp, or we're talking about practice. This is in context. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can only know so much or learn so much in OTAs. I do think positions like wide receiver, I think the cornerbacks, I think those positions, it's a lot easier to see things because they're running routes, they're catching, they're covering. You get that simple thing. For a guy that's learning 95% of a new offense, I think we need to come a break. I'm just saying, I think we need to cut him a break. When we get to, and listen, I'm not going to be easy on Jalen Hurts or anybody this year. All right, I expect this team in the NFC Championship game at the very least. At the very least. So I'm not going to be going out there and saying, oh, it's okay, we'll wait till next week. No, you got to go out there and kick some ass. All right, but, we're in OTA's training camp. I think that we got to give the guy a little bit of time to learn this new offense. Let's see what happens during preseason. I think the quarterback position is much like spring training. It's a position where in OTAs and in practice early in the summer, I think that you don't know what exactly the quarterback's working on. It's hard to make a judgment. Spring training, if a guy's working on a new pitch and he's getting rocked in spring training games, there's no reason to panic. So I think with the quarterback position, it's just a little bit different. Certain positions, I think it's very hard to tell in OTAs how good somebody is or how good they're not. The receivers are always going to stand out. The secondary is always going to stand out. The linebackers can make plays here and there, but it's always in the passing game. A quarterback is only going to look bad. He's not going to, in my opinion, look great, although I say that. And apparently Pickett had a really, really good day today. Pickett they said looked really good on some throws, especially some back shoulder throws. There was a big 35-yard touchdown to Johnny Wilson, who went up over Isaiah Rodgers, who has been nothing but a standout so far in camp, and he made a great catch. And apparently Pickett had quite a nice number of throws that were on the money. Tanner McKee, they said that he looked really, really good as well. And I think that that's great. Their backup quarterbacks. Jalen Hurts has got much more on his plate. I'm going to be honest with you. I am. I believe Jalen Hurts throws 30 touchdown passes this year. And you can laugh, get it out, I don't care. I do. I think he throws 30 touchdowns. I'm not talking about total. I'm talking about passing touchdowns. I'm going to say 30 passing touchdowns at least this year. I believe it. But we'll see. It's just a guess, But I think there's a lot of things to come out of this practice that we've got to talk about going forward. For example, I think the secondary is definitely deep. Cooper DeJean, great pass breakup. We talked about yesterday his almost one-handed interception, but he's starting to make plays. He talked today about playing inside and outside and all around. This kid's going to be a stud. The Flying Frenchman, baby. The Flying Frenchman. You can still get the Flying Frenchman shirt. I got it. Oh, I forgot to put mine on today. I was going to wear it. But Flying Frenchman, I just got my shirt. So get your shirt. Link in the description. But, he was flying around. Quinyon Mitchell has looked good, made some plays. Ringo has been fantastic looking so far. And then Isaiah Rodgers has been really, really good as well. I don't know, when you look at the secondary, how they're going to make everything work. Because it's just, and when I say work, I mean, I don't know how they're going to make or keep all these guys. BRADBERRY missed another day of practice. He's got an abductor injury or something. They don't think it's serious, thank goodness, but he's hurt. I think that the whole BRADBERRY situation was simple. Let's put some reps out at safety. Let's go out there and show the NFL that he can play multiple positions in the secondary, increase his trade value so that we could trade him during preseason. I truly believe that's what they wanted to do, and then he got hurt. So he didn't help us at all. Now, you might be saying, well, how do we know the defense and the secondary was so good this week, and not the offense? How do we know the offense struggled? Well, the offense had to run gassers after practice because the defense won the day. So the defense has been ahead of the offense, but you have to remember, it's basically a passing camp. You're not running the ball. You're not handing it off. You're not hitting. You're not in pads. Receivers run routes. The corners, they do what they do. And I think those two positions have the best chance to look good out of camp. I think a lot of times for quarterbacks, yeah, they can look good and sharp making throws, but it's just so hard to know what exactly they're working on. And then to hear that you have a 95% new offense he's trying to learn, that's a lot. But it's a good sign, too. Here's why it's a good sign. Because if they're using 95% new offense and he's learning new offense, then Sirianni has minimal effect on this offense, and that's a good thing. It's a very good thing. So I think the secondary, the one thing that we could take out of it is they've got a lot of talent, a lot of young talent, a lot of players. There are going to be trades and there are going to be moves during camp involving this secondary. Who will start? Isaiah Rodgers, Ringo. I mean, I love this problem. You've got Ringo, Rodgers, Mitchell, DeJean. Okay, those are guys that are going to be, they're all young, and they're going to be here for a while. What I would like to see is get them all on the field. How do you do that? I think you try to slide Isaiah Rodgers inside. I think you slide him on the inside. You put Mitchell on the outside, of course. You have Ringo on the outside. I really think you're going to have a situation where you have Quinyon Mitchell and Johnny Ringo, Kylie Ringo, but Johnny Ringo on the outside. And then if you have Rodgers in the slot, you put DeJean is safety, but he's only a safety when you need him to be safety. If you need him on the outside, sometimes fine. If you want to match him up with specific players, you do it. He's the Swiss Army knife. That's how you maximize these guys. You're not going to do it all in 1 year. I'm not talking about all this year. This is something that comes over the course of a few years. But that secondary is deep, okay? The linebacker situation, what did I take out of the linebacker situation? They're much better than people think. Bond is a guy to watch in camp, and Devin White has been impressive, and Trotter Jr. doesn't make a mistake twice. The wide receiver position, I think that there's that number 3 spot is wide open. I think guys like, Johnny Wilson, who had that big catch today, he's got a chance to fight for the job. Anaya Smith is back at practice. It's going to be fun. There's a lot to talk about in this camp, seriously. But we're done. I mean, camp is done. It is done until training camp. Next time we see these guys, it's training camp. And I can't wait. This is going to be one of the most fascinating training camps I can remember in a long time. So I cannot wait to see it. And listen, there's a lot to talk about. I've got another video that'll be out either tonight or tomorrow. We're going to start diving into some of these things and some of the big specific takeaways that I took. I saw good and bad. But the narrative that Jalen Hurts is somehow struggling, going to lose his job to Pickett and all this stuff, I think we need to chill with it for a little bit. Guy is admitting he's learning 95% of a new offense. 95%. And remember, he's the quarterback. He touches the ball every play. He has got to know everything that Devontae Smith knows, that A.J. Brown knows, that Dallas Goedert knows. He has to know it all. I think we need to cut the guy a little bit of slack, or at least just keep it all in context. You want to go and get excited about a receiver or corner and stuff, I think that's fair game. But a quarterback, learning 95% of the offense, I think the hate and the negative Jalen Hurts stuff, I just don't get it. With that said, take care. Talk to you later. Of course, don't be a dingbat. Remember, it's Howie Vision, baby. We're all just living in it. The big question going into camp and stuff is going to be, what are the Eagles going to do about the preseason games? Are they going to play these guys? They definitely, without question, have had way more reps than they did a year ago, and that's great. But I think they need to play in preseason. I'm not saying you have to play them a half, maybe not even a quarter, but get them out there for a series or two. Get these guys ready. Remember, we have to go to Brazil. We have to go to Brazil for a home opener in Philly. All right? But we do. So this team's got to be ready to play. They're playing against the Green Bay Packers. Green Bay is going to be good. This game, even though it's week 1, it could have huge tie-break implications. And the Eagles can't afford to mess around. They've got to go in there week 1, and they got to beat Green Bay. And if that means that you're going to go out there and you're going to play these guys in preseason and maybe risk injury, so be it. Denzel Washington, out.
Oh, dude, what the fuck?
The Cooper! The flying
Oh my
Frenchman!
God. Oh my God.
C'est bon!
C'est
bon! I'm dizzy. We did it. We transformed the Philadelphia Eagles secondary. We now have a secondary that is going to be good for years to come. Because one, we got Quinyon Mitchell, but we also got the flying Frenchman, Cooper DeJean. That's right. The flying Frenchman, Cooper DeJean. C'est bon. Oh, here's another interception. That's right. Cooper DeJean is about to dominate the NFL. Can't wait to see him out on the field. And if you're like me and you thought this was a great move by the Eagles and you support this pick, then you definitely want to check out this shirt. The Cooper DeJean Flying Frenchman shirt. Look at this thing. You can see in midair, flying through the air, transforming to an eagle. That's right. Cooper DeJean is here. Link is in the description. Get your shirt now while you can, because Cooper DeJean is about to take the Eagles to another level. Denzel Washington out.